She stood outside the door, mascara streaking down her cheeks, her hair a wild mess, her voice trembling beneath the weight of desperation. "It was only a break," she cried. But I held her gaze, calm, distant, unmoved. That was all the confirmation I needed. I had passed the test. Then I shut the door. 3 days earlier, I was in the kitchen, barefoot, sipping coffee. She leaned against the counter like the words she was about to speak wouldn't upend our world. "Let's pretend we've broken up," she said, almost casually. "Just for a week, to figure things out." She made it sound like therapy, like this was some kind of healthy experiment. But I could hear the bullet behind the softness. It came dressed like a question, but it was meant to wound. I didn't argue, just nodded. "If that's what you want." That was the last thing I said to her that still came from a real place inside me. 7 years we had been building this, piece by piece, like laying bricks with care and time. Lazy Sunday mornings filled with jazz and pancakes. Matching toothbrushes in the bathroom. Her freezing feet always tucked between my legs as we fell asleep. I had faith in her like some people have in God, stronger than logic, deeper than doubt. She used to whisper, "Promise me you'll never leave." And I did. And I meant every word. Now I understand what people mean when they say betrayal doesn't come from behind. It cradles your face, kisses your brow, then slices your throat with a smile. By the 3rd day, I hadn't reached out. No calls. No messages. Just me, sitting in silence like a monk grieving something sacred. Then I saw it, an Instagram story. Her face, lit up like she'd just been handed something priceless. Wrapped in the arms of a stranger. Some gym-built nobody with a self-satisfied smirk and humility worn like a costume. His arm was draped around her waist like he had already taken ownership of the life I had carefully crafted. The caption, "Healing." No context. No pause. Like I'd never even been real. I didn't hurl my phone. Didn't shout. Didn't shed a tear. Instead, I made a list. First, replace the locks. Second, call the attorney. Third, pack her belongings, every last item. This wasn't a reaction. It was a process. She asked for space. I gave her an entire universe. She left to figure things out. I ensured that when she returned, there was nothing left to return to. Over the next 2 days, I became someone else, colder, sharper. I pulled her clothes from the closet, folded each one with care, placed them in boxes. Makeup, heels, that ridiculous crystal lamp she adored, all packed like evidence at a crime scene, with the efficiency of a coroner. I stacked the boxes by the door, changed the Wi-Fi password, moved our shared savings into a new account with just enough left behind to be petty, but not criminal. I notified the landlord, took her name off the lease, erased her fingerprint from the smart lock. There was no fury in my steps, only clarity. She ran an experiment. Now she had her results. She came back the next morning, soaked from the rain, eyes darting, a nervous chuckle in her throat like this was all some odd, exaggerated joke. That grin faltered the moment she saw the boxes. And the lock blinking red. Her fists hit the door louder than her voice did. "Come on, babe. Don't be ridiculous. Open the door." So I did. Slowly. She blinked, paused, and tried to walk past me. I didn't move. Didn't make space. Her eyes fell to the boxes. "What is this?" I held out the key she'd left behind on the counter. She stared at it like it didn't belong to her anymore. Like it weighed more than she remembered. "This isn't a joke," she said. "Okay, that post, it didn't mean anything. He's just a friend. It was part of the test. To see how you'd react. To see if you cared." I smiled, not out of humor, but out of understanding. She still thought I was playing the game. She didn't realize I had already finished it. I waited a beat. Then I said, "You asked us to act like we were broken up, so I did. You wanted to explore your feelings, so I gave you space to feel them. You posted him." I responded with silence. Her mouth trembled. "I didn't mean to." "I did," I said, cutting her off. "Every action I took, I meant." She collapsed on the doormat, hands over her face. "I messed up," she whispered. "I thought you'd fight for me." I crouched beside her, close enough for her to hear the steel in my voice. "I did fight. 4 years. For us. For you. But you were so busy counting the days I stayed quiet, you never noticed the battles I fought in that silence." I stood and left her there, weeping in front of the neighbors. Let them see. She earned the spotlight. I didn't yell. Didn't call her names. The silence was sharper than any insult. Stillness, from someone who had already walked away. She begged. Apologized. Promised. Maybe she made a mistake. But I didn't. This wasn't vengeance. Not really. It was reclamation of my boundaries, my calm, my sense of self. I let her leave without asking her to stay. I didn't torch her bridges. I simply removed myself from the map entirely. She kept texting for weeks, long messages laced with guilt, dripping with memories. I read them all. Didn't block her. Let her see that I saw every word, and still didn't care. That's the harshest truth. Not fury, not retribution, but indifference. Now, I sleep sprawled across the whole bed. The jazz still plays on Sunday mornings. The only change, I dance alone now. And I'm okay with that, because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone who dares to test your heart is to pass and let them be the one who fails.